on out tonight. We're so happy to see you. Happy anniversary to Hip versus Swag. Yeah. My husband and I, we just celebrated our 14th wedding anniversary. And thank you. It's weird, though, because I feel like 14 years of marriage is very similar to a 14-year-old boy. Like, we prefer to communicate over text. We will sneak out of the house to go get drunk in the minivan. And we tend to think about sex a lot more than we're actually having it. So yeah, we've got a few kids. We've got 3 kids. And I feel like having a family is a lot like running a company, except your children are like your product lines. Sometimes you want to recall one of those products because it's causing a public safety hazard. And then you realize that its tendency to spontaneously combust, the faulty wiring, tendency to leak fluid, it's just normal wear and tear. And you know what? My manufacturing plant is not to blame. No, it's a design defect that I blame on my co-owner. It's all his fault. It's all his fault. But when you name your first kid, you have to be very careful about what name you pick, because you're establishing your brand. Because and the parents out there know what I'm talking about. The first name you pick, all the other names have to match, right? Right? Yeah. See? Yeah. I've got neighbors, my yuppie hipster neighbors, and they've named their children Dasani, Evian, and Perrier. They're going for pretentious water. That's their brand. My buddy from college, Carl, he's named his kids Wendy, Crystal, and of course, Carl Jr. He's going for E. coli chic. And then there's us. We've named our kids Oscar, Ruby, and Murray. We're going for Jewish old age home. And I feel like we're doing a pretty good job of staying on brand. There's a lot of kvetching about the food. I'm pretty sure no one can hear anything I say. And whenever I introduce them to one of my black friends, I'm really worried they're gonna say something racist. So, yeah. There's actually a lot of things that I'm saying to my kids now that I really hope I'm not still saying to them when they're teenagers. You know, stuff like, clean up your room, put the toilet seat down, take those balls out of your mouth. Because no one likes balls in their mouth. No, especially mommy. No matter what daddy says. It's yucky. It's yucky. Yeah, it is. But I've had to have a lot of difficult conversations with my kids. You know, like explaining to them things that you wouldn't think you would have to explain to anyone. I had to explain to one kid why it was unsanitary to wear finger puppets in the bathroom. Yeah. I know. I had to explain to another kid that ending a sentence, and boom, that's comedy, does not make what you just said to that blind man socially acceptable. No. And then I had a really hard time explaining to my daughter the answer to her question of, Mommy, when I'm older, will my boobies be as big as Daddy's? Yes. No, sweetie, no. Few are. But I would kill for a pair of man boobs. Like if I was going to go get that mommy makeover, I'd be like, give me the man boobs. They're so cute and perky. They are. They're so adorable. They're adorable. But there's lots of things that I've learned about myself since becoming a parent, like the enigmas of all the answers to all the puzzles in life. I've figured out why girls like to go to the bathroom together. It's because they're preparing for motherhood when you will never pee alone ever again. Yeah, I'm so used to having an audience. I'm like, hey, maybe I'm like talented at this. I'm like really good at peeing. I always have an audience. And it's gotten to the point though where I can only pee if I do have an audience. I guess it's like the opposite of pee shy. Would that be called I'm like a pee extrovert? And it really only causes a problem at work though. The guys are always like, hey, Amanda, can you pee with the door closed, please? And I'm like, sure, but if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna need you to stand on the other side of the door and bang on it and ask me to make you a snack. And then I'll be able to pee. That's what we call teamwork, right? Team building, it's a team building event. Help Amanda pee. So everyone works together, yeah. I've also learned since being a parent, what it must be like to be in prison. No, I do. I feel like being a parent must be like what it's like to be a prisoner, right? Yeah, they're the riots. They could break out at any given moment. They use makeshift weapons. There's the privacy. Yeah, I know. We always know I have company in the bathroom. Everyone's always watching me when I pee, when I'm in the shower. I've woken up in the middle of the night with 2 pairs of eyes staring at me at the edge of the bed. And then there are the threats. I've heard everything from, I'm gonna kill you, to I'm gonna lick your face. And worst of all, when you're dead, I get your money and your jewelry. No, it's scary. My kids are scary. And I'm not sure if it's Stockholm Syndrome or love. But I just adore my tiny little captors, even when they shank me with a Lego. They're so cute. So my oldest went to Jewish sleepaway camp this summer. Anyone else go to Jewish sleepaway camp? This is my crowd work. Who went to Jewish sleepaway camp? Oh, no one. No, but I did. So it was really nostalgic for me because I went to the same camp. And it was one of my first jobs was also at this camp. I was the camp pimp. And I know that sounds weird, but it's not because I was like a child pimp, which, that sounds weird too. I was like a kid pimping out other kids. Is that, no, okay. So I'll just give you the backstory so we all feel comfortable with each other, okay? So when I was 13 at Jewish sleepaway camp, I was extremely boy crazy. I was. I had a crush on you if you were a boy in my grade. I had a crush on you if you were a boy in any grade. Hell, if you were a girl with short hair and you were flat-chested, I probably had a crush on you also. But the problem is none of these boys or flat-chested girls liked me back because I was a prude and I was underdeveloped, which is like a half-truth. This boob had come in, but this boob, not so much. My chest was like a gentrified neighborhood. This side of the street had really high property value. This side of the street still had room for growth. And to make matters worse, I would hear the boys talking about the other girls, my other bunkmates. They'd be like, hey, check out the twins on Debbie. And I'd be like, hey, I got twins. What about my twins? They might be more like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito from the movie Twins, but they're there. And they want you to say hello, maybe. Yeah, kind of, not really. But I still wanted these boys to like me, so my strategy was to set them up with my hornier, bigger boobed friends. And you know that expression, pimping ain't easy? It's because they weren't doing it at Jewish summer camp. Because it was like shooting gefilte fish in a barrel. It was so easy. It was. I would just walk up to my friend Debbie and be like, hey, Debbie. She'd be like, hey, because that's how we talk. Hey, Debbie, who do you want to hook up with? And she'd be like, oh, my God, David is so fine. So I'd be like, all right, I got you, girl. And I'd walk over to David and be like, hey, David, give me $20 and I'll make that Jewish slut put out. What? Oh, my God. I know, right? My parents were so proud. And it's actually I actually don't worry, I didn't really want real money. There's only 3 things I wanted. Real friendship, 50% of their candy stash, and some fucking respect in the dining hall. And if they didn't give that to me, I send my friend Ira over to break their legs. It's just as simple as that. It's really a Jewish summer camp. Yeah. So I was a little different. And I was also different from the pimps on the outside. I was the Jewish summer camp pimp. They were wearing the pimp hats. I was wearing the blinged out yarmulke. They were carrying around the gold tip canes. I was carrying around the gold tip flashlight. They're snorting cocaine with the Johns. I was snorting Ritalin with the Jonathans. And I was doing cocaine with the special needs kids because I like to give back. And yeah. So my parents are proud of me. My kids are proud of me. All that's my job. Being the camp pimp. We did have a tricky parenting situation the other day. One of my kids came up to me and he said, hey, Mommy, is it okay if I call Donald Trump a son of a bitch? Yes. Yeah, I know. Well, it was hard. It was tricky, though. I said, those words, they're really not appropriate. It'd be more appropriate for you to call him something like a racist motherfucker. Yeah. Always a teaching moment in my house. Always a teaching moment. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I'm Amanda Marks, and we got lots more comedians. Sherry Farber.